Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress Comic News, episode 383. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host here, Mike. What's going on, Mike?
The search continues for the Shrek glass at McDonald's, is what I'll say.
Dude, of course, I got the Coca-Cola glass.
So, okay, well, first off, Mike Scarce is on the show today, everybody. I don't want to bury that in the headline, but fantastic guest. Spent some time with us over from the UK, Bristol, and we're going to talk about Zip. Really cool, interesting superhero comic where superhumans are treated almost like the powers are almost like a disability, which is kind of cool take.
Yeah.
And we learned about Sonic the Comic, which is not the Sonic the Comic we see in the States. Yeah.
It's the British Sonic comic.
The British Sonic the Comic, which is infinitely times better than, but you'll have to wait to hear about it. So anyways, you got the Coca-Cola cup. So interesting.
Yes.
Tell me about this. It's a blind bag cup, which is bullshit, by the way, McDonald's, because y'all know we're coming for the Shrek cup, and you made these fucking cups blind bag.
That was the first thing. So I ordered the collector meal, right?
Yeah.
So first, like, I'm trying to eat well. Like, I'm trying to eat good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to take care of myself.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
shape.
I want the Shrek cup. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go to McDonald's and I'm going to ruin everything and get some fucking chicken McNuggets and French fries.
Yep.
And a large milkshake. And I order it and I open the bag and they don't give me a cup. So I have to go back and be that guy who's like, hey, I didn't get my cup.
Hey, I didn't get my collector cup, you son of a bitch.
And then I remember I told the guy what I got. I was like, if you got the Shrek one, that's the one I want. Can I get the Shrek one? And he was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then she pulls out the thing and they're all like blind. I'm like, what's this?
Yeah, what is this? What is this malarkey? Yep.
So yeah, I get out to my car and I open it right away to see what I got. Of course, I get the Coca-Cola one. Like it's the McDonald's Coca-Cola. Like, let's celebrate McDonald's.
The one nobody wants.
Just want the Shrek cup.
I have a theory here, Chris, because I was on the thruway had to go down to Salem this weekend, and I stop at McDonald's and they got the cups there, and I'm like, oh shit, I would love a Shrek cup. So I did the same thing. I went up and I said, I want a cup. And the guy goes, well, you gotta buy the meal. I was like, I don't give a shit what I gotta buy. I want the cup. He's like, you gotta buy a meal. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what I got. He was looking at me like, I'm at McDonald's. I gotta buy a meal. I understand how the transaction works.
Yeah.
Just tell me the money I gotta pay to get a cup. Because like you hand me the food, I'll probably just throw it out. I just want the cup. And he goes, yeah, we got the cups. And I go, well, do you have the Shrek one? Because if you don't have the Shrek one, I'm not gonna buy a cup. For people that missed the last couple episodes, you're probably really confused. McDonald's brought the cups back. There's a Shrek one. You're caught up. So then he says, well, this is how they come out. And he pulls out this blind bag. And I'm like, you fuckers. In a world where I'm opening booster packs every week, I don't need another random gambling associated with fast food. So, so he was like, well, you can kind of see it. So he holds it up to the light. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, I can see the Coca-Cola symbol in this one. So it's the Coke cup, right?
So it's not the Shrek one.
Not the Shrek cup. So then I said, well, I don't want it if that's it. I'm like, thanks. And then he's like, yeah, that's all right. And then they start pulling out a bunch of cups. By the time I was leaving, because I'm on the throughway. I got to get back on the road. Like, we got to make time, whatever. So we're leaving. Like 3 or 4 of the employees have all the cups out on the counter. And they're like shining their like phone light through the bottom to try to see which cup is which now. Because they're like, they can't all be Coke cups. Every cup they checked, they had like 10 of them on the counter. They were all Coke cups. So I think they're being released in waves. That's my theory. Is like, or the good cups or the chase cups, which is really fucked up. So
that is really fucked up.
It's really nobody wants a Coke cup. I mean, you'll get the Coke cup. It's cool, but like compared to the Shrek cup,
but it's not a Shrek cup.
It's not a Shrek cup.
I want the cup for the greatest cinematic universe in history. Like that's what I want.
Right.
Yeah.
And the great thing about that too is like, I buy booster packs. Katie's like, oh, well, you probably shouldn't, buy so many booster packs. I went to buy a blind fucking bag cup for Shrek. She was all about that shit. So like,
oh yeah, I mean, you can use a cup.
Yeah, you use a cup.
She can't use Magic the Gathering cards.
That's true. Okay, well, all right. What are you on her side now? Anyways, yeah, it's very frustrating. I mean, McDonald's is already on a downward spiral with their pricing issues and all this bullshit. You got to blind bag the cups, really? Come on.
Like I'm at the point where I'm gonna wait for it to go on the internet and pay $30 for this stupid fucking Shrek cup.
Fucking Shrek cup.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, they do. And like, I would even if he was like, "Oh, this one's Hello Kitty," and I had to blind bag it, I would be like, "Okay, like whatever." But Coke, come on. Unless they like mass printed the Coke ones because they'd have to pay for the licensing fees on that one or some shit.
I mean, probably because it's basically a McDonald's one. Just it's got like the Coke polar bear on it and shit.
Yeah. So there's two theories. Either they print it in waves, which I haven't really done much research right now. Mm-hmm. Maybe someone's like, "You stupid fucking idiots! They're releasing them by week, you idiots." It's like, okay, well, we're not that McDonald's friendly. Or in tune with the scheduling of Happy Meal releases, or they're Chase cups, which is really messed up because then you're paying $300 for your Shrek cup.
Holy shit!
And not 30. Okay.
So apparently the entire set is live because the first headline I get is you can buy the entire set.
Okay.
For $125 on eBay. Okay. Yeah.
I don't want it that much.
No.
Okay.
I'll go buy a fucking Shrek t-shirt. It's fine.
Yeah, just go get a t-shirt. You can wear it. Yeah, so a little disappointed because, like you said, I'm not eating fast food that much, and also I'm not eating that much McDonald's. Like if I'm doing a guilty pleasure fast food, it's not going to be McDonald's.
All right, so here it is. First of all, to all the fucking maniacs on eBay selling the cup in the blind bag.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, you're a sicko.
Yeah,
because we all know you can see through it. The McDonald's employees showed me. You know which cup you're getting.
And Mike, oh man.
Uh-oh. Speculator's going to speculate.
Sorry, I just went down a rabbit hole. I'm seeing the Shrek cup anywhere from, I don't know if this is I don't use eBay. This might be a bid thing, but I see one at $325.
Okay.
And one at $10 and one at $25.
Okay, then I'm just eBaying it. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Like,
good job, McDonald's. You lost.
Yeah, and now I'm finding all these different Shrek cups. So
Chris is like, "Wow, there's been Shrek cups every year." So
yeah. Oh, dude, the Shrek Christmas cups. What?
Oh,
we need to get off.
All right, we got to get off eBay.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Other than Shrek cups.
Yeah.
So this has been a fantastic week for me.
Yeah.
Like, I've had a really good week. First of all, I'm on like a mini vacation, so like nice. I'm riding high.
Yeah, there you go.
So earlier in the week, they announced, have you heard of the streaming service Plex?
I use Plex.
You do?
As a media server in my home. Yes, so I do. I do know about Plex. Yep.
So I never heard of it. Don't know. Yeah. I have an account now because they have the exclusive streaming rights to the Drew Carey show.
Which is crazy because Plex is free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that to those who don't know, like, I love 90s, early 2000s.
I had no idea. I had no idea Plex had stuff like that on it.
And the Drew Carey show has been notorious as one of the named sitcoms that has never been re-released because this is real fucking nerdy fucking sitcom shit, Mike. Mm-hmm. But season 2 through 9 use the song Cleveland Rocks as their theme song.
Right.
So they've never released seasons 2 through 9. And it finally happened and Plex did it. And I don't know how they did it. And I don't care that I have to watch a bunch of commercials.
I think somebody at Plex is just... have you watched it? I don't know if they have commercials.
They do. Oh, yeah. Okay. And they're really bad. Like, they're not even like... Because the Drew Carey show was originally on TV, Mike, where there's natural breaks for commercials. Yeah. And they don't even use those. They just pop them in whenever.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah. So it's definitely like AI, like podcasts do.
Yeah. You know? And I'll say Plex. So like Plex is more of a media server for me than streaming. So what I do is I open Plex. It identifies like a storage device on my desktop. Mm-hmm. And as long as my computer's on, I can stream my video files that I own, kind of like a Netflix, to my TV. There's an app for Plex, so it just streams all my files that I have downloaded, very legally downloaded movies and videos and TV shows. Because sometimes, Chris,
you're an engineer. There's nothing evil about you.
Yeah, exactly. We'll find that out later in the show. But yeah, so that's really cool. I'm going to check out the streaming stuff on there because I've never even looked. That's awesome. I love the Drew Carey show. I used to watch that all the time.
Yeah, as do I. And that's like the one I haven't watched like sense.
Yeah,
because you can't watch it.
it's gonna be
Now you
weird
can,
seeing him like pre all weight loss, because that's all I've ever seen him now over 30 years is like his remarkable weight loss journey he went through. So
it's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's just as good as Who's Line, right? I mean, it's like the Who's Line.
It basically is, because it's the entire cast from Who's Line.
Yeah.
Minus what's his name?
Colin?
Wayne Brady.
Wayne Brady, that's right.
Which I think he shows up at some point.
I think
he's
he
not
does.
part of the main cast.
Yeah. Which is amazing. That's awesome. That's a great. So what season are you on?
I'm into season 2 now.
Okay, nice.
I've had to take breaks because like Hard Knocks came out, and I football season. I love football.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we'll talk about Umbrella Academy later. I finished that up, and
nice.
And I'm still trying to watch Batman, but Drew Carey show came out, so.
So I as much as comics I didn't watch, read. I did finish Batman, and it was fantastic. The Onomatopoeia episode was hilarious.
Oh, I forgot he's in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Onomatopoeia, for those that don't know, is a Batman villain created by Kevin Smith. Onomatopoeia doesn't say words; he just speaks through onomatopoeias. And they made it like it wasn't like a slapstick comedy episode. It was actually like done very menacingly and like cool. Yeah, and there was actually an episode written by Mark Bernardin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got excited because we talked about the Greg Rucka episode.
Yes.
And then the next episode after that is written by Ed Brubaker.
Ed Brubaker. Yeah, and he has a hand in like doing the last episode. I really hope, I haven't seen anything about it, but I really hope they come back. And I mean, like, it's weird because like the DC Comics like Instagram and shit is like pushing this show, and it's like on Amazon Prime, and it's like, man, I really hope they do a season 2 because I liked it a lot. There was an amazing episode, Chris, where like the circus comes to town and the orphanage kids are at the circus, and like Batman has to save them because they're getting like abducted. Each kid that gets abducted, and I think this is the Mark Bernardin episode that he wrote, each kid that gets abducted is a reference to a Robin character. And there's there's a Carrie Kelly with a slingshot. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like all the kids are talking about at the end of the episode, like, there's a kid named Dickie for Dick Grayson. It's you got to watch it. It's so good. It's like, damn, this writing is fantastic. Like, yeah, that's my favorite Robin, by the way. Folks.
It's on my to-do list for this week. But
so you're gonna love it. Like every episode I'm watching, I'm like, oh, Chris is gonna love the shit out of this. Like, I cannot wait for him to watch this. Yeah,
so much content, Mike.
I know,
so much. But yeah, I what I've watched, I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
like I think episode 3 is like him, which was kind of funny because I immediately groaned because it is a My Parents Are Dead episode.
Yeah.
But they immediately go into the thing and like they show the pearls that his mother wore. Somebody makes a smart ass remark, he knocks him out.
Yeah, and
then his psychiatrist is Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Or Dr. Harley Quinzel.
Yeah, Dr. Quinzel.
But it was a really good episode how they like set it up. And I was like, oh, you did an origin episode in a way that I liked it.
Right. Yeah.
And like that says all that needs to be said.
And they made me like Harley Quinn. This reiteration of Dr. Quinzel is really cool. I'll let you watch it in the episode when they get to her, but it's good. Yeah. It's good stuff.
I guess I could jump right into Umbrella Academy then.
Yeah, because you finished that. So how was that? I haven't watched it, Chris, but what I have heard from some people is it's like what you said the first few episodes, it's not really doing it for them compared to the other seasons. So let's hear your take on season 4.
So I've now coined this season as having a Game of Thrones effect.
Oh no.
So the comic has not gone to this point yet.
Yeah.
So now they're going past the source material. And I think that's the problem. Is while the other seasons like stray from the source material at times, like any show does, it still sticks to it pretty well. And this one has no source material. And let me just say overall, it's okay. And I'm kind of glad that this was the ending because they definitely strayed too far. My big problem, and this is something we talk about a lot with different things we read and whatnot, but my favorite character is 5. Like he was a dick, he was a smart ass, and I don't know why, Mike, but that tends to be the character I like in the shows.
Shocking.
And they really neutered him. And
Mm.
I get it in the context of the story they're telling, which is that it's 6 years later, they've been stuck in this timeline, and he's gotten to calm down. He's not on edge all the time because the world's ending.
Mm-hmm.
But that also takes away like the character I enjoyed. I thought they focused way too much on Victor, who just was not interesting in my eyes.
I didn't care much about him. And
I also thought that they didn't give all the family their moments to shine throughout. I felt like they each should have had a moment that was like within their character that we loved to kind of send them away, and we didn't get that. And then the ending, I mean, endings are hard. I hate judging a show altogether or anything by its ending because endings never live up to the expectations we have for it. And the ending's okay. It's whatever. It's not going to blow your socks or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like that they strayed away from the expectation of a superhero thing. And you'll see when you watch it what I mean by that. They do a thing in there where they do the Council of Reeds, and it's the Council of Fives.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
So like there's stuff to like, and it's not that I hated it. It's just not as good as the other 3 seasons, which are like top tier, TV for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, this is the definitive ending. There's no, I don't see any way that they bring it back, and they've all said that it's done. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know what? The comics are going to go on, Mike. So that's all that really matters to me at the end of the day.
Yeah, the good stuff, the source material. So
yeah, but yeah, if you watch the other 3 seasons, watch this because it does wrap a nice bow on everything and gets you where you need to go. And it's 6 episodes, not 8 this time.
Yeah,
so
somewhat quick to get through.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch this. So next section is movie, folks. Here it is, Kraven the Hunter. So we got a new trailer for Kraven the Hunter. It's such a cool character, such a great actor playing the cool character, Chris. But man, this movie looks like a big stinker.
So I want to have faith, Mike.
I want to have faith too. I'm gonna watch it when it leaves the theater. Rated R, right?
Yeah, I will watch this. It is R-rated. There's been things where they said they went back for reshoots. Like I said, I don't put too much emphasis on that because I don't think people pay attention to
he's wearing the costume though. I mean, so kudos to them for putting him in the furry vest.
It does a couple things in here that Sony has failed at in the past. One, like comic accurate costumes.
Right.
Like you'll see later, Rhino, comic accurate.
Yeah. Oh, Rhino's in this? Okay.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
He gets the fur cuff vest and everything.
Yeah.
Dude, all South Park has ruined me because every time Russell Crowe shows up, all I can think is Russell Crowe fighting around the world.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, it's amazing.
And he's not fighting a mirror image of himself. He's not fighting an evil Kraven.
Right.
He's fighting the Rhino.
Yeah.
I think this has a shot to be good.
Okay. I might enjoy this.
But we'll see. I like this trailer. I like what they're doing here. It seems like they've actually put a lot of like budget into this and effort. So we'll hope. But
I will say there's a lot of Kraven the Hunter hunting. I mean, there's a lot of blood. There's a lot of him getting his hands bloody, killing people.
And we're not listening to the audio of it, but there's a lot of talking about hunting.
Yeah.
There's a nice Johnny Cash song in the background.
Look at that vest. That's so ridiculous.
The vest is great, man. Here it is right here. What?
Okay.
Bam, there he is.
Yeah. So it's not just a dude in a rhino costume, though. It's an actual rhino.
And it's not like a mech suit or something.
Yeah.
It's a
like
dude
Paul
who
Giamatti.
transform.
Giamatti. What I want is the 60s Spider-Man cartoon Rhino. If you ever watched the episode, which I have, his big plan to defeat Spider-Man is to build a golden statue, and so everybody will worship him instead of Spider-Man. It's like the worst comic villain planet of all time. But yeah, that looks enjoyable. I think, like you said, it looks like they're doing a lot of things right. The costumes and having him fight Rhino is pretty awesome because like rhinos are hunted. He's Kraven the Hunter. Like somebody in the writing room is like, this just makes sense, guys.
And they're taking the concept of like he's going off for a big like he's hunted everything. The same thing that gets him to Spider-Man in the comics.
Right.
They're doing that just with Rhino.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and if the movie doesn't end with like, you know, the African government like coming in and arresting him for killing a rhino, it's a protected species, I don't want to watch this movie. Like he wins and kills the rhino, and you're like, you know, they're protected because the ivory. And it's like, well, or the horns. I'm like, yeah, nah, I don't know.
And we'll see what the movie is because I'll hold this prediction for like if the movie's good,
right?
But in terms of like how he looks and everything,
yeah,
this is the closest to like MCU where I could see it like
coming in.
It's way over there.
Yeah, yeah.
So
that'd be
there's
cool.
a lot of good here, but it's Sony. So
that's the problem too. Is like that's the first thing of like on a list of why can't the Sony movies come to Marvel? And the first one is like, well, you got to look like a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? Like
the character design has to be right.
Yeah, you got to look like it. You can't just be some dude that doesn't look like a hero or a villain in a costume. Like you gotta wear the costume.
Well, it's like even Venom, when they made the hint that Venom was coming over, but Venom doesn't fit the design of the MCU. Like he's not gonna fit in.
Yeah, he just plays by himself.
So we will see, but I want to have hope in this one because I think it's a cool character and a cool story arc.
What a crazy ride Aaron Taylor Johnson has had.
He was Kick-Ass, right?
Kick-Ass, Quicksilver, and then
was he in a DC movie?
Kraven the Hunter? No, he wasn't. Oh, he was in Godzilla.
Yes,
he was a main character in the Godzilla universe. So this dude is played in a lot of different phantoms. So good for him.
MCU.
Yeah, he was the Quicksilver in the Avengers.
There he is.
And I don't. They just couldn't. He was a miracle in the Avengers. He wasn't a quote unquote mutant because
I thought he was in something else. He's in the Kingsman. That's funny.
Yep.
Why did I think he was in?
Oh, I guess it's another comic book property he was in. A Miller comic book property.
Yeah.
Comic news. Marvel announced that issue 19 of The Incredible Hulk releasing this November. It'll be the Legacy 800, and they'll celebrate that. The issue will get a giant-sized issue. This issue will feature a story continuing to run from Philip Kennedy Johnson, All-Star, and Nick Klein, but also have stories from Benjamin Percy, Torrin Gobek, Jeff Shaw, and more. So that is a cover.
It is indeed a cover.
That's pretty sick. I like the red-ish coloring, reddish purplish. That's interesting.
Yeah, they said like She-Hulk will show up, Red Hulk will show up, like the Hulk extended universe will show up.
The long hair Hulk is always a weird choice.
It's a choice. Yeah. I'm not reading Incredible Hulk though, so
yeah.
You're not getting me for this probably $10 fucking comic. God damn you, Marvel.
Stupid Marvel. You're not reading Philip Kennedy Johnson's Hulk run?
No, I mean,
you're not a Hulk guy.
I'm not much of a Hulk guy. And there's so many books out, Mike. That
I'll wait for the trade for this one, I think.
I mean, I've heard good things about it, and of course, Philip Kennedy Johnson's a superstar. So
yeah, but
sometimes we got to pick our battles, and this was one of them where I just couldn't jump on board.
There's an oversaturation, I'll say. Especially of X-Men. Holy shit. Marvel announced the following last year's limited series Ghost Rider / Wolverine Weapons of Vengeance and the sequel series Helverine, that the character will be getting an ongoing series also titled Helverine. Look at that. That is a cover. This is written by Benjamin Percy, art by Raphael Lenko. It's hellfire-fueled claw-slashing action in the mighty Marvel manner as Helverine blazes a new path across the Marvel Universe. The demon Bagr Ghoul possessed Wolverine turning him into a killing machine. But Logan is no stranger to caging the beast within his soul, and the demon learned his heroic ways. Now it's resurrected Akihiro, and the two must learn to live as one. The Helverine. Please don't make me say that again. But they can't do it alone. Enter Doctor Strange. Okay.
What was the comic called again, Mike?
Helverine. I don't want to say this anymore. Yeah, so the costume gives me like a Sabretooth or Black Panther style, though, which is interesting. But
I'm pretty sure it's Dakin because I only see 2 claws.
yeah. Yeah, why
I'm not reading any of this crap, so I don't know.
No, there's a third claw. The third claw's under the wrist. See
yeah,
that?
but
yeah,
Logan's comes out of the top.
Yeah, that's weird.
Also, I see the Black Panther amulet around his neck.
Yeah, so I'm not crazy, right?
This is the most '90s thing I've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, this is for and even the title being on fire.
Yeah, like good for people that are enjoying it, but
I just
goddamn, does it scream '90s? I mean,
and I just wish the cover wasn't so like 3D looking. You know what I mean? This is just like it looks like just computer generated art to me. Like it's a screenshot of like a Helverine video game is what it looks like. Yeah.
I mean, I get the appeal. It's a cool design. Like they did everything right. The fucking flames coming off his head look like Logan's hair.
Yeah.
It's a giant skull on fire. I mean, this 100% was like a boardroom of people being like, so what's the next big idea?
Yeah.
What do kids like?
Yeah. The kids like hell.
Skulls, fire, and hell.
Kids just say they're living in hell all the time, so let's give them what they want. I don't know. It's a thing. It's out there. I probably won't read it, but it's definitely there. It's definitely there for you folks.
Yeah. Hope you all enjoy it. One more time, Mike. What is it?
Helverine. God damn it. DC Comics announced a new solo series for fan favorite Batgirl Cassandra Cain. What? The series will be written by Tate Bromble with art by Takeshi Miyazawa. Love Miyazawa's art, so that's awesome. I'm going to be reading this. When a deadly group of assassins show up to kill Cassandra Cain, Lady Shiva must come to the rescue, and they're forced to put their complicated past aside and work together as mother and daughter to ensure they make it out alive. Unfortunately, things are never as easy as they seem, and Batgirl must embark on the jaw-dropping, martial arts-filled adventure in her quest for truth and justice and revenge? ? This is a Batgirl unlike any other, so don't miss the opportunity to dive into the psyche of one of Gotham's deadliest fighters while exploring her deep and complex relationship with her mother. I was promised Kung Fu in a Batgirl book, so that's not Babs, so I'll probably be reading this.
When I saw this announcement, I thought of you immediately because I know you love Cassandra Cain.
Yeah, and
then
nothing against Babs, but there's just so much of her, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I read it and I just saw the word martial arts and I was like, oh man.
Oh yeah.
Mike's ready. Mike's gonna buy the fuck out of this.
Yeah. And I don't know if I've read much of Tate Bromble, but Takeshi Miyazawa's art. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sold.
I'm gonna say though, these and I know it's like the first issue of their new wave. They're doing this, but these covers that DC's doing, not a fan.
Yeah, this one's a little. It looks like when you are testing the limits of your action figures when you're a kid. Like, oh, how far can they bend?
Yeah,
that's kind of what it looks like.
Well, just all together, like these, because when they did the big announcement for all the new creative teams for All In, they did these same style. I just not a fan.
Yeah,
more I look at them like, not
my favorite.
They don't pop enough for me.
Some more awesome DC announcements coming up. DC Comics announced the return of Santa Claus to the DC universe with Batman Santa Claus Silent Night Returns. Yes. This will be a sequel to last year's Silent Night series and will also be a weekly series starting the end of November through December from writer Jeff Parker, artist Lucas Kettner. Oh man, look at those freaking covers. In the 5 issues of Batman Santa Claus Silent Night Returns, horrors haunt the Christmas season as life-drained bodies litter the countryside, each marked with a strange symbol. The Justice League responds, but it's a trap. The heroes are pulled from our world, but not before Batman helps Robin escape. Now Damian Wayne must seek out Zatanna and the one and only Santa Claus if there's any hope of saving their friends and family. I don't even care what the story is, Chris. I'm reading the hell out of this book. Like, come on.
I loved this last year. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And
it had
now
that
that's coming back,
really like gut wrenching final moment too, where they got their Christmas present. Like,
That was awesome.
Mike, hold yourself for the next one because this is the cover you're gonna buy, right?
Yep.
Ready?
Uh-huh.
Bam.
Oh my god, that is amazing. I love that. For the listener folks, it is a sexy calendar that is open on December, and it's a shirtless hairy Santa winking. I love it.
It's phenomenal. Yeah, I love this series last time around. Jeff Parker did a great job with it. I like that it's weekly, so like we get it all through December. I get some like a little bit of Christmas in my
Christmas comics. And Batman. Yeah, this is a genius idea. The marketing, oh wow, it's like a wrapping paper DC.
Yeah.
The marketing at DC right now is on point. Like they get it right now.
Yeah, they're doing great stuff. So I'm all about this. I'll be getting this 100%. I think DC, I like what DC's doing now. Like it's this whole like every 2 or 3 years, like doing a soft reboot, but not really a reboot.
Yeah.
And it just gets me excited again. Like I get a new, and now we're in that period where like, I feel like there's too many books because I'm excited about so many, but it's good at the same time because I'm going to try a bunch of books. I'm sure I'm going to drop a bunch and then we're going to have some cool books coming out. But this in particular, I'm really excited for. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. DC announced spinning out of the events of Absolute Power and Justice League Unlimited is a new Black Lightning series from writer Brandon Thomas and Fico Osio. In the Black Lightning is back, and this time it's family affair. Jefferson Pierce leads the Justice League's new metahuman outreach initiative. Okay, helping those with powers before they can cause harm to themselves and others. But everything changes when his own daughter, Anissa Pierce, who comes to him for help with Thunder's dangerous new powers and the new Master of Disaster jeopardizing the coexistence between humans and metas. Black Lightning is on the front lines of a culture war brewing in the suburbs of Metropolis. I'm sorry, but I was never excited for Black Lightning. I still think, I don't know, maybe this is their time, but I'm sure there's some big Black Lightning fans out there.
Yeah, good for them. Where they lost me is culture war.
Yeah, culture war brewing between metas and humans. I've seen that before. It's in a book called X-Men, and it's been done, right?
And I'm also sick of the culture war. We'll talk more about that later in what we've been reading, Mike. I'm not a big Black Lightning guy, so and like I just said with the last one, like so many books coming out,
too many books,
a lot of excitement from DC. This doesn't hit the peak excitement. Like I just earlier today did my pre-orders for the most recent previews catalog, and I was sitting there so excited for Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Superman.
Yeah.
Black Lightning doesn't hit. Like there's no way you're gonna get me in there. So I'm glad he gets his own series. I think it's a decent enough premise, but not not for the show.
Yeah. Well, this project coming up next is something really interesting that I'm probably gonna be checking out. Yeah. Especially one of my favorite Jimi Hendrix song references of all time. DC Comics announced a new Question ongoing comic, and not even the question, not the normal question we see. It's a Renee Montoya question, folks. We can tell by the cover. It's subtitled. It's a Question ongoing comic subtitled "All Along the Watchtower" from writer Alex Segura and artist Cien Torme. Awesome. So Renee Montoya investigates a murder mystery on the Justice League Watchtower. Who watches the Watchtower? In the wake of Absolute Power, the Justice League Unlimited has created a haven for all heroes, but can they keep it secure? Enter Renee Montoya, reeling from an abrupt end to her time in Gotham, and looking for a place to hang her hat. But the Trinity didn't bring her up to the Watchtower to relax. There's a dark threat bubbling beneath the surface, and only the Question and her ad hoc support team can stand a chance of figuring out who the problem is before it's too late. Crime noir on the Justice League Watchtower with Renee Montoya, the Question. Come on, Chris. You got to be reading this.
Oh, 100%. Okay. I love the Question, but all the Question stuff I've read was the old Question.
Yeah, we never get Renee Montoya stuff.
I wasn't there for the Ray Montoya era, and I've never gone back and read the Renee Montoya era. So this is my jump in. Plus, who's writing it, Mike? Alex Segura.
Yeah.
What other book is he doing? Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm gonna check this out. He obviously knows how to do crime noir stuff, and you add in the fact that it's on the Watchtower. It's got a great Jimi Hendrix reference in there.
Yeah,
100%. I'm
This
here
book's
for
firing
this.
on all cylinders, folks. That's how you do an announcement right there.
Yeah, it's great. And
Someone's like, "What if we do Dick Tracy in space? Hire Alex Agura."
This is one of those ones that hits that peak meter of like, this is exciting.
Yep. Oh,
Even
yeah.
if it's, I will take question however I can get them
Mhm.
for her in this
Yeah.
case. Even though this isn't the question I know and I've read over the years, fuck it. Let's see.
Let's do it.
I know people love this version of question, so let's
Yeah.
see what it is. Maybe it'll get me into reading her past adventures too.
And very exciting too, because there's a lot of Renee Montoya in the new Batman animated series show. So,
Mhm.
And I loved her character, so really cool to see that.
Yeah, and that's fair too. I know Renee Montoya from like Batman animated series and
Yeah.
from this new Batman. Like she's been around, so I know
Right.
her character. I just don't know her as the question.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oni Press announced a new limited series titled Calavera PI from writer-artist Marco Finnegan. Oh, that's an interesting cover. In 1925, Juan Calavera died a hero after a career spent outside the law defending the Chicago barrios, where the police refused to operate. He earned a reputation of fearlessness and a gunshot in the stomach. Now, 5 years later, on Dia de los Muertos, his restless spirit has been summoned from the grave to help a desperate former colleague unravel a kidnapping all too close to home, with only days to solve the case before he is called back to the underworld. King Calavera revealed the identity of the masked human trafficker known as La Fantasma before tragedy strikes again, and solve the mystery of his own murder in the process. Really cool, interesting concept. Oni Press now jumping on the crime noir gang. That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
That's a cool cover.
If I'm being honest with everybody, if this was like me putting my money down, I don't know if I would give it a shot, but I'll probably get a review copy. So I'll at least check it out and let y'all know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a cool enough premise, and I'm happy that more and more crime noir stuff's coming out. It is hitting a saturation point where it's like, I can't read all this. I used to be able to read every crime noir book.
Right.
I can't
Not
do
anymore.
it anymore.
Yeah, there's too many.
It feels like everybody has a crime noir book now.
Please stop. No more ice cream. I can't eat anymore.
Right.
I'm so full. Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah.
It's a cool premise.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about what we read this week, Chris. I
real quick, could I jump in here?
Yeah.
So I've been, after talking with Travis and the crew last week, I've had the entire collection of H.P. Lovecraft's work.
Okay.
And I knew H.P. Lovecraft was a racist.
Oh, it's bad.
I didn't know how bad it was.
Yeah,
man.
It's really bad. Yeah.
Rats in the Walls.
Uh-huh.
I think I counted 32 times a slang that will not be repeated on the show was used.
Oh, yeah. It makes it hard to read sometimes. I believe, yeah.
And I don't say this to get any kind of street cred. It's more just, this is why we're me and this person are friends. And it's funny. But my best friend, so we were little kids, is black. And so I called him and I was like, have you read any of this before? And he goes, no, but I know Cthulhu and shit. I play video games and everything. And I was like, dude, it's bad. Like, and I told him I just told all you. And he laughs and goes, really, that much? And I was like, yeah, dude. Like, it was. And what's even worse is I listened to an audiobook of it, Mike.
Oh,
so
no.
A white guy had to say it on microphone 32 times.
32 times. That's even crazier they did that. That's wild.
And this friend of mine's response was just like, that's crazy. Can I borrow that book from you?
I love Cam.
Yeah, it's nuts. But I got through that, and I decided that I need to listen to them little by little, and not all in one straight line, because holy shit, man.
And it's like sometimes I have a collection of stories that I was reading, Tales of Cosmic Terror, a bunch of H.P. Lovecraft. And sometimes he just like, it comes out of nowhere with it. Like, bam. We're just making a racist reference out of nowhere. Like,
and it's made worse because I listen to audiobooks when I'm at the gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the gym is a wide collection of different people, like
black,
white, Hispanic, male, female, whatever. And when you're surrounded by a bunch of black dudes working out,
Yep.
And all you hear in your ear is that word over and over again.
Yep.
It gets really weird really fast.
So it gets pretty awkward, I'm sure. This is my H.P. Lovecraft book, Cosmic Terror. I believe I got it at Barnes & Noble, special edition or something. On the inside of the cover, you see this little blurb before the title page?
Yep.
This is a disclaimer, Chris. And I did see this before I started the search. Disclaimer, which I've never seen in a book before. I was like, huh, interesting. They're warning me before. I've already purchased the book, but now that I'm looking at the contents, let's look. Throughout the text, the readers may find that some of the language used and sentiments expressed are unacceptable by today's standards. These reflect the attitudes and usage common at the time the book was written. In no way do they reflect the attitude of the publishers.
I would sure hope so.
I would hope so, guys. Yeah, and I think I know I think they have updated versions where they take all that shit out, which is probably for the best. I know, like, people say, like, oh, you got to read it as it was and all that stuff. No, you don't. I mean, I think that's okay.
Well, in terms of Rats in the Walls, you can't take it out because it's literally the name of a cat, and that's why it's said so many times.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was actually a friend of the show, Nick O'Gorman, who we've had on a long time ago. His entire thing he does now is he does comic versions of Lovecraft stories, and he hasn't done one in a bit. I'd have to ask him, but I have them all. I just haven't read them. Yeah. So I pulled them out because the ones I read were, I forget the first one was The Reanimator and Rats in the Walls were the two big ones. So I read his version of Rats in the Walls because I was immediately intrigued, like, how does this happen?
Yeah, how does this
And he has a very easy solution to it. A, don't be a racist, but B, the cat's just named Black Tom.
Yeah, makes sense.
You still get the tone of, like, the hint of what Lovecraft was doing because, you know, Black Tom, that's got a history to it.
Yep.
But it's not, like, blatantly and outwardly. So it's interesting, like, you can do that.
Yeah.
Some of it I'll agree. Like, some of the stuff from Reanimator, I don't think I'd want them to change, even though it is pretty harsh, because it is characterization in a way. But it's still, my recommendation to everybody is read a story or two, move on to something else, because it's rough.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to find out how Cthulhu is racist, though. That's my
that's going to be
Cthulhu's thought in the African American community is going to be very interesting to me.
Yeah, that's what you're going to be on the lookout for. So the two books I got to read this week were the latest issue. So I was in Salem. I went to Harrison Comics, one of my favorite comic shops when I've been there. I picked up some of my physical issues of the week, which is different for me because I'm usually doing digital. What I got to read was Ultraman X Avengers #1 this week, and it was hard for me to pick a cover because they're all so cool. I believe that's the one I got.
Cover A, baby.
A lot of fun. I mean, it even says, hey, this picks up right where the Ultraman series left off, and I was like, fuck yeah, which is great for a reader like me if you read it, but you also don't need to read it. And I do love the whole, Spider-Man shows up. It's all based on Galactus, and they're talking about Reed Richards talking about Galactus. So for me, this is great because I'm getting Fantastic Four science. Here, Galactus shows up. I got Ultraman. They're like, we need a big bad to fight the big good. It's great. And towards the end, we finally get all the Avengers pulled over. But I do like the interaction of, like, when Spider-Man first comes through and they're like, oh, you do have superheroes here. And they're Ultraman are like, no, we're not heroes. Like, that's not a thing we have here. We're science entities, and, don't just call us superheroes. They're very proud about it. So I like what it set up. Not really any big fight scenes from what I remember, but I think it's a good start of, like, a good foundation for the story. And I'm all about this shit. So
as a non-Ultraman reader, I thought, so the Spider-Man that shows up throughout the issue is Miles, which immediately got me in.
Okay, yeah.
But as a non-Ultraman reader, I thought they did a great job of like introducing everything, giving me things that said, like, this happened in this story and this happened in this story, which got me intrigued enough to, like, maybe I'll go back and read those.
It was a good series,
and all the combinations. And I liked how they used Tony Stark to be like, so you are superheroes. What's your power? This?
Yeah. like pointing them all out. Yeah.
It's new reader friendly is what I'm trying to say. Like they do a really great job. I thought it was a cool story. It's not like gonna blow your socks off. It's very basics, but it's a fun crossover. Yeah, and Galactus.
Yeah,
like of course when it happened that it was
Galactus, like of course it's Galactus.
Yeah, who else would it be?
Yeah, it like just made sense. Like of course, yep.
So, yeah, great first issue.
I read the latest issue of Geiger. I can't remember the number.
Number 5.
5, thanks. They do not kill the dog, folks, so we're good. We're safe. The dog was not killed. Great issue. A lot of fight scene with Rook. Is that no, not Rook. I'm sorry, that's the other book. The Knight. Oh, and
I think it's just the Knight.
I think it's the Knight. Yeah. So, and then we get a glimpse of like, okay, the villain is like the president, and he's been sending villains or like people to go clean up Geiger, and he's like, I'm going to go get Geiger myself. It's like, okay. And then he had the henchmen there working for him that were going after the robot,
GI robot.
And so they're like, no.
I love the little Funko Pop of GI Robot on his desk too.
Yeah,
did you notice that?
Yeah, I did see that. That was pretty funny. Fantastic art. Gary Frank just fucking killing it. Awesome fight scene with that crazy doctor, and the dog lived. So great issue to me. Yeah,
everything you said. I like the president being the villain, and he's like kind of the invisible man because he's all
wrapped up.
All over him.
So we don't know what his powers are yet, but
so great, like intriguing moment to cliffhanger on. Yeah, Geiger's fun.
Yeah, that's all I got to this week besides finishing the Batman show, which was amazing.
Oh, I got you, Mike, because we're gonna go through a list.
Let's go.
So quick Kickstarter book, Space Cruisin'. I'm zoning on the creator of it now, but a fun like sci-fi black and white comic. Talking about black and white comic. A little bit of fourth wall breaking, which kind of it took me out a little bit. But like when he uses it first, it's to introduce the world, and it's a character talking to you to introduce the world. And then he uses it again later on. And I was kind of like, I hope you don't keep doing this. But great introduction to sci-fi world. If you like sci-fi comics, some cool art, and really well done. It's the guy who did Dime Store Detective. Do you remember?
I remember that.
I feel really bad that I can't remember his name, but we do so many interviews, man.
I know.
I read Batman 151, and I can't remember if we talked about it or not, but it was a really great issue that has Batman and Catwoman going on that whole cat burglary to get, I forget now, but Bizarro shows up, so it was fun.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. Chip Zdarsky's Public Domain came out, and it was a really great issue. A lot of inside baseball comic stuff. Avengers 17 was okay. Basically, it's a lot of like, this is what happened during Blood Hunt, and and a lot of like, did we succeed or did we fail because people died, and it's like, okay, and it's all just a through line to get to, oh, by the way, Storm's joined the team. And it's like, okay, cool, I want Storm on the team, but yeah, can we fight something, please?
Yeah, let's fight. You're the Avengers, come on.
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Land of the Giants. It's exactly what you think it is, everybody. So if you don't like Tiny Tina, you don't like Borderlands, you're not gonna like this comic. But I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of good D&D stuff in it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's them playing bunkers and badasses and Claptrap being crazy.
That's awesome.
The Ultimates number 3. Did not expect to almost cry.
Oh.
This is the backstory of how the Hulk is made. So it's like some remote island in like the Philippines or something. And that's where he like drops the gamma bomb, becomes Hulk. And by doing that, he basically like infects the entire island with gamma radiation, and they all die horrible deaths.
Oh God.
Except for like a few people who survive. And it's this woman on there who's not the She-Hulk of this universe. And then like a few of her friends. And one of them like is just a nervous system that can float. And she's explaining how like even the slightest wind is agony for them. To which I'm like, just kill them.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Mercy, kill them.
Yeah.
But like all the people are deformed in some way. It's very disturbing.
That's awful.
But it was a great issue. It was much deeper than I thought it would be. Werewolf by Night, Mike, came out.
Oh, nice.
And our boy Jack Russell is out of control. He after Blood Hunt, because it was Eternal Night and he couldn't control his powers. So now they're all out of whack.
Yep.
And he's just turning and killing random people. But Elsa Bloodstone shows up to help him out. we've got the Hood showing up to take over the vampire clan Transylvania.
Okay.
And they have he has taken them and moved into Dracula's old home and is going to transform everything and take over this town. So there's a lot of fun stuff happening here. I know Moon Knight's showing up in like issue 3 or 4. Not the biggest Werewolf by Night fan, but I'll be honest, it's a fun issue of like a guy turning to werewolf and vampire stuff. Jonny Quest #1.
Oh yeah, I did see that came out.
Yeah, I feel like Jonny Quest. They got in this issue they got like flung into the future, which is our current.
Okay.
And they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're not quite sure. And they find out through different hints that they're in the future. And then they end up meeting Jonny Quest as an old man.
Oh, that's cool.
And he tells them what's going on. So like all the villains you expect are there, all the characters you expect are there, but it's the sci-fi adventure in the future. So
that's a cool premise though.
Yeah. I always enjoy Jonny Quest. I always say it's like a very kid-friendly Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad it's back in a comic form. And Joe Casey writing it, I was surprised that not as jokey as I thought it would be, because that's what Joe Casey's normally known for. And then Barbaric Born in Blood #3 came out. Did you get a chance to read this?
I have 2 and 3. I bought them because I forgot about 2. They're on my pile that I got at the store. I have not read them yet.
I love this issue. It's the last issue of the series, so I will not jump too much into it, but a lot of great action. A lot of bows tied and another present opened, because they end in a way that is directly going into the next series.
Oh, that's cool.
So Barbaric continues to be great. I thought they did a great job. I love where they're going with the next series.
Nice. Yeah, I can't wait to read them.
And then I read Babs #1 from Ahoy Comics.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to like this a lot, and I think it's okay. But Garth obviously had something to say about like internet and culture war politics, because he very much is like the whole issue. There's literal trolls and goblins who are complaining that the main character is the main character because she's a woman.
Oh.
And I was just like,
man,
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, and you're legit to say what you want to say in your art, but I don't want to do it. I got enough of that in the real world.
That doesn't sound like something I would enjoy either. Yeah.
But what sucks about it is everything else. Like Babs, the character is fun. It's a typical Garth Ennis like female lead.
Okay.
The world is great, and her supporting cast is great. It's just that one villain, and I'm not sure if I'm going to give issue 2 a try.
Okay.
But because something else pops up at the end that seems to be the real big bad. But there's even a moment there where it's like it's basically a white knight. And the goblin's like, I'm with him. He looks like us. And it's like, fuck. It's like, just shut up.
I hate that shit.
I want to escape.
Yeah, come on. I need to
or at least be more clever about my escape, please.
Yeah, please.
And then my last book, Mike, was House of the Unholy from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips came out.
Oh, nice. I like the shiny hardcover.
Yeah, nice shiny.
Yeah.
Shiny. Basically there's these kids who all told the story about like the devil doing things to them in this very religious community.
Okay.
They made it up, and the kids all grow up and are kind of fucked up. And then somebody's going around killing each one of them.
Oh.
And we meet this one character. She's one of the 6, and she gets caught in this whole scandal. Her brother gets sucked into like online conspiracy theories. So he becomes a part of the whole investigation. She meets someone who she thinks is an FBI agent who isn't, gets involved with cults. It's everything you think of Brubaker and Phillips books, but it's got all these cool, like, cultish satanic elements added into it.
That's cool.
And I was actually surprised by the ending. Like, I thought this was going to be the first volume of something, and it's not. It's a one and done graphic novel.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And I thought the way they ended it was really well done.
Nice.
Well, Mike, that was everything I read this week. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on X Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
You can find me on X at Fortress Chris, and also any other social media network, whether it's Blue Sky or whatever. Threads I'm on for some reason. Also at chriscomicscorner.substack.com. And if you want to follow the show, it's Fortress Comics _ on X and fortresscomicnews.com. If you want to support the show, best way to do it, like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube version. 5-star reviews on the podcatchers that you use, whether it's Spotify, Apple iTunes, whatever. And then patreon.com/fortresscomics. Thank you all so much for listening this week. And we'll see y'all here next week.